July 11th, 1944. 17:42 hours. The hedgerows outside St. Lo, Normandy. The gunfire doesn't stop, it only shifts. One moment it's ripping left to right, MG-42s hammering the hedgerow like steel rain. The next, it's closer, too close, bullets snapping through leaves, clipping branches, chewing the dirt inches from a man's face. Private First Class Ethan Cole lies on his side in a shallow depression, cheek pressed into wet earth. His helmet is gone. He doesn't remember losing it. His ears ring so hard the world sounds underwater. Somewhere behind him, an American bar opens up, then cuts short. A scream follows, then nothing. Cole tries to move his right leg. Pain answers immediately, sharp, electric. He bites down so hard his jaw aches. Blood seeps through torn fabric, darkening the soil beneath him. The hedgerow ahead explodes with movement. German infantry, field grey, helmets low, spill through a breach in the brush. One stumbles, another drops to a knee and fires. Their voices cut through the chaos, sharp and urgent. Cole forces himself still. He is alone. His squad had been hit 10 minutes ago, maybe less. Time stopped meaning anything the second the mortars walked in. Smoke, shouting, men scattering into the green walls like animals. Now the Germans are sweeping. Boots crunch closer, a shadow passes over him, a rifle barrel dips, hesitates. Cole exhales slowly, deliberately. He lets his head roll to the side, eyes half-lidded. His left hand twitches once, then goes slack. A German soldier steps closer. Verwundet, the man mutters, wounded. Another voice answers, lebt noch, still alive. The rifle nudges Cole's shoulder. Hard, he doesn't react. Hands grab his webbing, rough and efficient, rolling him onto his back. The sky flashes white for a moment as pain blooms through his leg. He keeps his face slack, mouth open, breath shallow. A helmeted face looms above him, young, dirt-streaked, eyes hard but alert. The soldier scans Cole quickly. Blood, torn trousers, no helmet, no movement. Jeff Anjan, the soldier says, captured. Cole's heart slams so hard, he's sure they can see it through his chest. They haul him upright. The world spins. He lets his weight sag, forces a groan through his throat. His rifle is kicked away. Hands pat him down fast, practiced. Pockets, harness, canteen. They miss the grenades. Not because they're careless, but because they don't expect them to be there. Cole had taped them inside his jacket hours earlier, before the attack. 2 MKII fragmentation grenades, pins bent just enough for quick pull. He'd done it without thinking, muscle memory from weeks of drills and close calls. Insurance. The Germans sling his arms over 2 shoulders and start moving him toward the rear. The hedgerow swallows the battlefield behind them, gunfire fading, replaced by the low rush of blood in Cole's ears. You can almost feel what he feels in that moment. The pull of gravity on a wounded leg. The heat under his jacket where metal rests against skin. The impossibility of what comes next pressing in from all sides. They think he's finished. They think he's harmless. The path narrows into a sunken lane churned into mud by boots and vehicles. A half-track sits idling ahead, engine ticking. Maury German soldiers cluster nearby, smoking, laughing softly, relief etched into their posture. A successful sweep. Cole's feet drag, every step sends fire through his thigh. His vision blurs at the edges. He focuses on breathing, slow, controlled. He needs them close, all of them close. A sergeant steps forward, inspecting the prisoner with quick disdain. A line, alone. One of the soldiers nods. A line, schwer verwundet, alone, badly wounded. The sergeant snorts. He gestures toward the ditch. Sets einen dort, put him there. They lower Cole to the ground, back against the bank. Hands release him. The sudden absence of pressure feels wrong, dangerous. For half a second, nothing happens. The Germans turn away, attention already shifting to something else. Another sweep, another threat, another task. That is the mistake. Cole's eyes snap open. His left hand moves, not fast, not frantic, but precise. Fingers slide inside his jacket, find metal, find the first pin. You don't rise to the occasion in moments like this. You fold to your training. The pin comes free with a faint metallic click, lost under engine noise and distant gunfire. Cole grips the grenade tight, thumb clamped down on the spoon. He counts. 1. The nearest German turns back, frowning. Something has changed. He senses it before he understands it. Cole's arm comes up. 2. The grenade arcs low and hard, bouncing once in the mud between clustered boots. Shouts erupt, confusion, disbelief. Someone yells granate. Too late. The explosion is concussive at this distance. White light, brutal pressure. Men are thrown sideways. The half-track shudders. Smoke and dirt fill the lane. Cole is already moving. Pain becomes irrelevant. He surges to his feet, yanking the second grenade free as his right hand finds his pistol, still holstered, still overlooked. A German soldier staggers toward him, face torn, eyes wild. Cole fires once, point blank. The sound is deafening. He throws the second grenade toward the half-track and dives, rolling, screaming as his wounded leg slams into the ditch wall. The blast tears through the lane. Shrapnel hammers metal. Someone cries out. Someone else doesn't. Smoke swallows everything. Cole drags himself along the ditch, breath ragged, ears ringing. He doesn't look back. He can't. Every movement is agony, but stopping is death. Behind him, the German rear area is chaos. Shouting, orders overlapping, weapons firing wildly into smoke that hides nothing and everything. They captured him alive. They thought the danger was over. And in the space of seconds, they learned how wrong that assumption was. Cole pulls himself deeper into the ditch, fingers clawing at roots, mud smearing his face. He reloads without looking, hands slick with blood, his or someone else. The hedgerow looms ahead. Cover. Or a trap. He doesn't know which yet. What he does know, what every man in that lane now understands too late, is that war does not forgive certainty. And mercy, when misplaced, can be fatal. Smoke collapses inward, thick and choking. The sunken lane outside St. Lo becomes a tunnel of noise, shouts ricocheting off earthen walls, rifles cracking at shadows, boots splashing blindly through mud. Orders are screamed, contradicted, screamed again. German soldiers scatter for cover that no longer exists. Private First Class Ethan Cole lies pressed into the ditch, cheek against slime and roots, heart battering his ribs like it wants out. His ears ring so hard the world pulses. He forces air into his lungs in shallow pools, fighting the urge to gasp. You can almost feel it, the instinct to freeze, to disappear into the ground and hope the chaos moves past you. It doesn't. A German soldier stumbles into view above the ditch, weapons sweeping wildly. His face is gray with shock, eyes darting. He fires down the lane at nothing, at everything. Cole raises his pistol with both hands, fires twice. The man folds, sliding down the bank into the mud inches from Cole's boots. Cole doesn't look at him. He crawls. Every movement sends lightning through his wounded leg. He grits his teeth so hard his jaw creaks. Mud fills his mouth. He spits, drags himself forward by elbows and forearms, inch by inch. Behind him, the half-track burns. Not dramatically, just enough. Smoke coils from the engine compartment. Ammunition cooks off with dull pops that echo too close for comfort. The lane is no longer a rear area. It's a kill zone. German discipline snaps back quickly, but not instantly. That delay is everything. Cole reaches a break in the ditch where rain runoff carved a shallow slope. He hauls himself up, slips, falls back, tries again. Fingers find purchase on grass and root. He pulls, legs screaming, vision tunneling. A rifle cracks. Dirt explodes near his head. Cole throws himself sideways into the hedgerow. Branches claw at his face, thorns tear skin. He doesn't slow. He forces himself deeper, rolling, crawling, until green walls swallow him whole. The jungle, this living, breathing maze, closes behind him. Silence follows. Not true silence, never that. But the immediate, murderous focus of the lane fades, replaced by distant shouting and confused movement. The Germans are trying to understand what just happened. They captured a wounded man. They lost a section. Inside the hedgerow, Cole lies still, counting his breaths, pistol clenched so tight his fingers cramp. His whole body trembles now, shock catching up, adrenaline bleeding out. He forces his breathing to slow. One breath in. One breath out. He listens. German voices drift nearby, angry, sharp, overlapping. Someone is yelling for medics. Someone else is demanding to know how it happened. No one has an answer. Cole checks his pistol, 3 rounds left. His grenades are gone. His leg is worse. The bleeding has slowed, but the pain is deep now, hot and constant. He tears a strip from his jacket lining and ties it tight above the wound, hands moving automatically. Training. That's all that's left when thinking stops. Minutes pass, maybe more, time stretches thin and strange. Then another sound. Not German. American. Low, careful, a whispered challenge carried through leaves. Cole doesn't answer right away. He can't afford to be wrong. He waits for the second sound, the cadence of boots, the way Americans move differently, looser, less rigid. It comes. He exhales and whispers back the password, voice hoarse. Shapes materialize through the green. 2 U.S. infantrymen, rifles raised, eyes wide when they see him. Jesus, Cole. Hands grab him, gentle but urgent. They pull him back, deeper, toward friendly lines. One of them stares past him toward the hedgerow gap, listening to the distant German chaos. What the hell happened back there? Cole doesn't answer. He can't, not yet. They drag him to a makeshift aid station under the trees. A medic cuts away fabric, swears softly when he sees the leg. Morphine needle slides in. The world dulls at the edges. As the pain recedes, something else creeps in. Memory. The moment the Germans relaxed. The moment their attention shifted away from him. The moment certainty replaced caution. Cole stares up through leaves at a sky torn into fragments by branches. He realizes something unsettling. They didn't make a tactical mistake. They made a human one. They saw a wounded man and decided the danger had passed. That assumption almost got them all killed. News travels fast at the front. By nightfall, the story has already mutated. A captured American blew up a German command post. A wounded prisoner wiped out a half-track crew. A lone infantryman turned a rear area into a slaughterhouse. The truth is smaller, sharper, but no less disturbing. Officers talk quietly, not officially, not in reports. The incident won't make it into after-action summaries in any detail, too messy, too uncomfortable. Because it forces a question no one likes to ask. What do you do with a captured enemy who might still be dangerous? The German answer, learned the hard way in that sunken lane, will be simple. No more chances. For Cole, the realization comes later, in fragments. As he's carried to the rear. As he fades in and out on a stretcher. As he hears the distant thud of artillery resume its endless argument with the earth. He didn't just survive capture. He changed the calculus. Days later, back at battalion, Cole overhears a briefing. German prisoners are being taken less frequently. Firefights are ending faster and bloodier. The enemy has learned. Because war is a classroom that teaches brutally fast. Cole sits alone that night, back against a tree, staring at his hands. They're steady now, too steady. He replays the moment over and over, not with triumph, not with regret, but with a cold clarity that scares him. He understands now that mercy in war is not a feeling. It's a decision. And decisions made under fire echo far beyond the moment they're made. In a sunken lane outside St. Lo, that echo was explosive. And it hasn't finished traveling yet. July 13th, 1944. Just before dusk. The shattered outskirts of St. Lo. The fighting resumes with a different tone. It's subtle at first, almost imperceptible unless you're close enough to smell cordite and fear on the same breath. German fire becomes sharper, shorter, engagements end quicker, fewer pauses, fewer chances. Prisoners are still taken. But not like before. Lieutenant Carl Weiss, 352nd Infantry Division, crouches behind a collapsed stone wall, eyes scanning a hedgerow that looks empty but never is. He's heard the story everyone has by now. A wounded American taken alive. A rear area turned into a killing ground in seconds. At first, Weiss dismissed it as exaggeration. Soldiers embellish. Fear stretches facts. Then he saw the wrecked half-drac himself. Burn marks on the earth. Shrapnel embedded in the lane walls at chest height. Blood everywhere, too much for a single grenade, but consistent with 2 detonations in confined space. Weiss does like what it implies. He relays new guidance down the line, quietly, carefully. Disarm immediately, maintain distance, no clustering, assume deception. The words are clinical, the meaning is not. By nightfall, a patrol encounters 2 American infantrymen near a shell crater. One is clearly dead. The other lies still, face down, rifle just out of reach. A German private moves forward instinctively. Weiss stops him with a hand. Wait! They circle wide, rifles trained, bayonets fixed. Only when they're certain, absolutely certain, do they approach. The American is dead. But the pause lingers. The hesitation costs seconds, sometimes minutes. And in Normandy, minutes get people killed. On the American side, rumors travel just as fast. Cole's name spreads, not officially, but in fragments. The guy who blew up his captors, the wounded one who got away. Each retelling sharpens the edges, strips away the pain and fear, leaves only the act. Cole hates that part. He sits on a crate near the aid station, leg bandaged, unable to return to the line yet. Men pass him, some glancing, some staring openly, a few nod with something like awe. He doesn't nod back. Because the truth is uglier than the story. He didn't feel brave. He didn't feel clever. He felt cornered. There's a difference. Captain Harold Denton, Cole's company commander, sits with him one evening as the sun bleeds into the horizon. Denton is quiet for a long time. You understand what happened out there, Denton finally says. Cole shrugs weakly. I got lucky, sir. Denton shakes his head. You survived, that's not luck, but there's fallout. Cole knows. German resistance has hardened. Surrenders are rarer. When they do happen, they're tense, dangerous, fingers twitching on triggers. The space between killing and capture has narrowed. Cole stares at the dirt. I didn't mean. I know, Denton says, cutting him off. This isn't a reprimand. But it isn't comfort either. Because in war, consequences don't care about intention. Days later, during an assault near a bombed-out farmstead, an American squad hesitates to accept the surrender of 3 German soldiers emerging from a cellar. Hands up, rifles dropped. The hesitation lasts seconds. An explosion, whether a grenade or a nervous discharge, no one is sure, kills 2 Americans and 1 German instantly. The 3rd German is shot trying to flee. Afterward, no one can say who started it. But everyone knows why no one trusted anyone enough to slow down. Cole hears about it from a medic, then later from a sergeant who won't meet his eyes. Each retelling adds weight to his chest. He realizes something then, something that twists deeper than guilt. His action didn't just save him. It changed expectations. German soldiers now assume wounded Americans might still be lethal. Americans assume captured Germans might be desperate enough to do anything. The fragile, dangerous space where surrender lives shrinks further. The war becomes colder, sharper, more refined. Cole walks with a cane now, testing his leg. The pain is manageable, the memories aren't. He replays the lane constantly, not just the explosion, but the moment before it, the way the Germans turned away, the way the danger felt gone. That feeling terrifies him, because he understands how easy it is to believe a fight is over when it is. Across the front, officers adjust tactics on both sides. Prisoner handling becomes rigid. Distance is enforced. Weapons stay trained longer. Trust erodes further. No one writes Cole's name into doctrine. But the lesson spreads anyway. At a crossroads outside St. Lo, Weiss watches smoke rise from another skirmish. He wonders how many of his men are alive because they now hesitate, and how many will die because of that same hesitation. He clenches his jaw. War offers no clean choices, only trade-offs. Cole finally returns to limited duty weeks later. He avoids conversations about the incident. When pressed, he says only, they shouldn't have let go. It's not an excuse. It's a fact. But facts don't sit quietly in war. They ripple outward, changing behavior, tightening nerves, shortening tempers. One evening, as artillery thunders in the distance, Cole sits alone and cleans his pistol. He pauses, staring at the metal, seeing not the weapon, but the moment when everything turned. He understands now that survival can be a weapon too. And once used, it reshapes the battlefield. The front keeps moving. St. Lo will fall, Normandy will break open, the war will roll east. But the lesson learned in that sunken lane won't stay behind. It will travel with every patrol, every capture, every split-second decision made under fire. Because sometimes the most dangerous mistake in war is believing the danger has passed. And the men on both sides are about to pay for that belief again. August 2nd, 1944. Late afternoon. Somewhere east of the WWII River. The front has moved again. St. Lo is behind them now, reduced to rubble, its name already turning into a milestone instead of a place. The hedgerows thin out here, giving way to broken villages and open fields scarred by shell holes. The war feels different in open ground, faster, less intimate. But the men carry the intimacy with them. Private First Class Ethan Cole sits in the back of a truck, legs stretched out, rifle across his lap. He's been cleared for full duty. The cane is gone, the limp remains, subtle, permanent. No one mentions it. Around him, the platoon rides in silence, engines growling, dust coating faces and teeth. Someone lights a cigarette. Someone else stares at the horizon as if trying to see past it. Cole closes his eyes briefly. He still smells the lane sometimes. Still hears the shout, "Grenade," cut short. Still feels the instant when the world tipped and never quite leveled again. You can almost feel it too, the way a single decision embeds itself, becoming heavier the longer you carry it. The war hasn't slowed. If anything, it's accelerating. German units are retreating, then counterattacking, then retreating again. Surrenders happen, but they're fraught, dangerous, brittle. Everyone is faster on the trigger now. Cole notices it during a skirmish near a crossroads. A German soldier stumbles out of a ditch, hands raised, panic etched into his face. The American point man freezes, rifle trained, finger tight. For a fraction of a second, no one moves. Cole feels his chest tighten. Then the German drops to his knees, weapon sliding away, palms high and empty. The point man breathes out hard and waves him back. It works. This time. Later, as they move on, the point man mutters, "Thought he was gonna pull something." No one laughs, because everyone thought it too. Cole realizes then that the lesson from the sunken lane hasn't become a rule. It become a reflex. Trust is thinner, mercy is slower, every wounded man is watched longer, every surrender is treated like a puzzle that might explode if handled wrong. The war grinds forward regardless. Weeks later, Paris will fall. The headlines will shout liberation and victory. Photographs will show smiling civilians, raised flags, men embraced as heroes. Cole won't be in those photos. He'll be on a road outside a nameless town, checking his sector, listening for movement that might mean nothing or everything. At night, when the guns finally quiet, he lies awake under a shelter half, staring at darkness that feels too close. He wonders how many choices like his are scattered across this war, small, desperate acts that never make history books but bend behavior all the same. He understands something now that no training manual ever explained. War doesn't just teach you how to fight. It teaches you what you can live with and what you can't forget. Years later, long after uniforms are folded away and rifles turned into stories, Cole will still think about that lane. Not every day, not even every month. But sometimes, in quiet moments, in crowded places, when someone assumes danger has passed, he will remember the weight of that second before the grenade left his hand, the certainty that if he hesitated, he would die, the knowledge that survival demanded something irreversible. He will remember that the Germans didn't capture a trick. They captured a man, and they made the mistake of believing that a wounded man, disarmed and alone, could no longer change the outcome. That belief cost them dearly. It cost others too, on both sides, long after the smoke cleared. Because war punishes assumptions more ruthlessly than enemies. It punishes the idea that a moment is finished when it is. That danger announces itself clearly. That mercy, once offered, can't be turned against you. In Normandy, in 1944, one wounded soldier proved otherwise. Not because he wanted to be remembered, but because in that instant, survival was the only choice left. And survival, once chosen, has consequences that echo far beyond the moment. Far beyond the battlefield. Far beyond the war itself.